Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Julius Malema.
Amandla. Viva EFF, viva. Viva EFF, viva. Tata EFF, tata. Tata EFF, tata. Auwe muchwa dirata marukwana, auwe. Auwe muchwa butlwana muimele, auwe. Forward to the EFF government, forward. Thank you very much, Commissar Mbweseni Ndlozi. Let me take this opportunity to send revolutionary greetings to the leadership of Commissar Ndlozi and Commissar Lien Mateis, who are sent here with Dr. Mutrini and Mam Kaula and all Central Command team members who are deployed in Gauteng to come and make it possible for EFF to take over. Let me salute the provincial chairperson, Nkulego Dunga, and provincial secretary, Moshe Koma, and all the democratically elected provincial leaders of the EFF in Gauteng. Comrades, let me greet the ground forces of the EFF who made it possible for Dobsonville to be read today, because without the ground forces of the EFF, we are nothing. Comrades, let me greet the people of Soweto. Let me greet the people of Gauteng. Today, gathered in this Dobsonville Stadium, is strictly the people of Gauteng in a Gauteng provincial manifesto launch. Comrades, we are here under a clarion call: land and jobs now, stop load shedding. We are the only people who are gathered here with domestic workers, with security guards, with bus drivers, taxi drivers, all people who are called gardeners. They are part of this festival of the poor. We are here in Gauteng, a home of Sharpeville massacre. We are here in Gauteng, the home of June 16 uprising. We are here in Gauteng, where the youth responded to the call of O.R. Tambo to render apartheid South Africa ungovernable and make apartheid machinery unworkable. We are here amongst the brave generations that brought and made 1994 possible. Comrades, the dream that was sold in 1994 is going to be achieved in 2024. That's why you came here. Comrades, you came here because you want to breathe the same air that Winnie Mandela was breathing. You want to breathe the same air that Tsietsi Mashinini was breathing. Onkgopo Tsetiro and Hector Peterson, you are following in the footsteps of the giants. You will not have chosen a better venue other than this venue in Soweto, where our people started the revolution against apartheid, We are starting the revolution for the land and jobs and to stop load shedding here in Gauteng. Comrades, Gauteng has collapsed. The ANC has destroyed our province. This is where you find 3 million people without jobs. This is where 6,000 people are killed every year. How can you have 6,000 people killed every year in a place where there is no war? Comrades, in places like Mamelodi and Soshanguve, murder has become a sport. When white people play cricket and rugby, the youth of Mamelodi and Soshanguve, they are playing with killing each other. This is Gauteng for you. This is where only 139 out of 144 police stations are in buildings that are collapsing, because this government is renting buildings from their own people. In Gauteng, there are no longer hospitals. Baragwanath used to be one of the best hospitals. The ANC destroyed it. Charlotte Maxeke used to be a good hospital. The ANC destroyed it. Steve Biko used to be a good hospital. The ANC wants to collapse it because they know that if public health is not working, you will go to the private hospitals, and that's where they are involved in corrupt relationship with owners of private hospitals. Comrades, we have hospitals without nurses and doctors, yet at the same time we've got unemployed nurses and doctors. How can they say we don't have doctors in hospitals, whereas we've got unemployed doctors and nurses? We want to make sure that all these people are in employment. Comrades, very soon there will be water shedding in the whole of Gauteng because water infrastructure in Gauteng has collapsed. There is nothing that works. I don't know why will the people of Alexander go to a rally of the ANC after Ramaphosa went to Alexander 5 years ago and said he's going to build 1 million houses. Till today, he has not built a single house in Alexander. Comrades, but by Alexander, our people in Alexander live like animals. They've even accepted that the rats are their relatives because the ANC has violated the human dignity of our people in Alexander. Comrades, the mine shafts have become a home of criminals in Krugersdorp, in Johannesburg, in Ekurhuleni. People kill and terrorize our communities and go and hide in the mine shafts. We must fight gender-based violence here in Gauteng. We must make sure that the people of the EFF are obsessed with service delivery and nothing else. When you are a public representative of the EFF, you must like service delivery. Comrades, there is a premier here in Gauteng called Panyaza Lesufi. Panyaza Lesufi is a liar of note. From today, we must call him Panyaza the liar because he lies unprovoked. Comrades, Panyaza said, and I want to quote him so that they don't say I'm creating stories. On the 20th of February 2023, the Premier of Gauteng said, residents of Gauteng, we are pleased to announce that e-tolls have been scrapped. That's when Panyaza was coming into office after removing the useless Makura through factionalism. Till today, the e-tolls are still there. And Panyaza said he's going to scrap the e-tolls. He did not lie only in 2023. Just now, he went to the state of the province to lie again and said in March there won't be e-tolls. And the Minister of Finance said, Panyaza the liar is lying because the e-tolls are here to stay. Panyaza has been leading Gauteng with lies because he's a liar from an organization that lied since 1994. Panyaza said he's going to finish load shedding in Gauteng because he's going to build 800 megawatts solar farm. Till today, there is no single solar farm built by Panyaza after he said he was going to build 800 megawatt solar farm. Today, there is load shedding everywhere. And the only way to end load shedding, and Eskom knows that, we must make sure that all coal-fired power stations are working, are well capacitated, and they are well serviced. Without that, there is no way we can end load shedding. Comrades, the EFF is government in Ekurhuleni. Whether they like it or not, since the EFF came government in Mogale City, in Ekurhuleni, in Johannesburg, the lives of our people have improved, especially in the departments where we are working. Today, there is no sewer spillage in Ekurhuleni that can spend the whole 24 hours without being attended to. Today, those who are in the indigent policy, they have doubled because of the EFF. The early child development centers are working with the EFF in Ekurhuleni. Today, we have increased revenue in Ekurhuleni by 94% because we went to switch off electricity for the industries that are owned by white people who were not paying electricity in Ekurhuleni. Today, the people of Mayfield, Tokyo Phase 3, Tsakani, Kwatema, Tokoza, Clayville, and everywhere else in Ekurhuleni, they know that substations and transformers have been completed by the EFF. Today, the staff morale of the Ekurhuleni municipality staff is at the highest level because they are inspired. Comrades, batho ba thembisa ditlakala tša bona ne di sa tšewe. EFF ya rumela ditraka tša go tšea ditlakala in every black township in the whole of Ekurhuleni. They saw that for the first time with the EFF. Comrades, today, hona le batho ba tsamayang ba re EFF e wishitše masepala wa Ekurhuleni. It's a lie because they want to fight against the government of the EFF. Why are they fighting the government of the EFF? It is because they can see that this government delivers to black people. Anyone who gives black people services is the enemy. That's why we are an enemy in Mogale City. Because our fighters in Mogale City, they work day and night to patch the potholes that were created by the ANC. Our fighters in Mogale City, without a budget, they are re-graveling the roads in the squatter camps, fighting to make sure that informal settlements are formalized. Comrades, in Johannesburg today, we've got a special unit. Redile maphodisa ama special ailunguri atlo bereka le ditsotsi tse lunguri di hijack the buildings in Johannesburg. We are going to fight cash in transit in Johannesburg. We are going to fight GBV in Johannesburg. We are going to fight gangs and drugs and kidnapping and illegal mining in Johannesburg. How are we going to do that? We've got a capable MMC of safety in Johannesburg. We've got an MMC of health in Johannesburg. The MMC has gone to almost all the clinics to put generators so that those clinics, when there is a load shedding, they operate. We must never close clinics because there is a load shedding. Only the government of the EFF can do that. Comrades, here in Johannesburg, even before we became government, we insourced the security guards, and we are going to insource security guards everywhere in Gauteng. We are going to insource all the cleaners everywhere in Gauteng because we've done it before. Comrades, I want to salute the leadership of the EFF in Tshwane. They exposed the corruption and the corrupt DA government in Tshwane. Where DA governs, black people suffer. Tshwane today is worse because of the DA. And every day the EFF is fighting the corruption of the DA. The latest in the fight against corruption is when we exposed the so-called deputy mayor who comes from Action XA, who took the money of the council and did not perform the work as expected. The Tshwane leadership said to that mayor, pay back the money. And that deputy mayor paid back the money because the EFF does not play. Comrades, if you go to Mamelodi, if you go to Atteridgeville, if you go to Soshanguve, if you go to Hammanskraal, if you go to Mabopane or Garankuwa, our people are neglected by the government of the DA. And when you elect the DA, you must know that you voted for your own oppression. Comrades, we are going to give you the land. We are going to give you the jobs, because without land in Gauteng, we are nothing. The people of Diepsloot, we are going to give you land because we are not happy with how you are living in Diepsloot. And we won't give you land far from where you are working. We are going to give you land next to where you work because we don't want you to pay for transport. We are going to expropriate land without compensation, and we are going to make sure that our people receive land in Alexander, in Citibank, in Ekurhuleni. Let our people get land. But fighters, the land is not only for residential. We want commercial land. We want farms. We want to be farmers. And there is a comrade called Mampuru, who was your leader here in Gauteng. He expropriated land somewhere there in Sidibeng, and today he's farming in that land. We must expropriate land for farming. Comrades, Alexander can never remain in a situation where it is. It's only the EFF that can build the people of Alexander proper houses. We are going to make sure that the people of Alexander are properly accommodated. The people of Sitwetla will no longer stay next to the river Sitwetla. They will get a proper land so that their lives are not at risk. Comrades, we are going to create jobs in Gauteng, because if you can't create jobs in Gauteng, then you are wasting time. We want jobs that are delivered by state-owned housing and road companies here in Gauteng. We are going to establish a Gauteng Metropolitan Road Agency. We are going to make sure that 150,000 jobs are created by this company that we are going to establish. Comrades, we are going to establish a state-owned security company. All the securities who are working in government buildings are going to work under state-owned security company, because we want them to have benefits. Comrades, the people of Deep Sloot, the people of Zola and Orlando who are security guards, they must know that their future is guaranteed. We know that these security companies in Gauteng, they steal 6 billion per year because they are not paying security guards proper money. Comrades, we are going to create 97,000 jobs through this company of security guards. We are going to create 200,000 jobs through a cleaning and landscaping company here in Gauteng. We are going to make sure that we create a clay mine that will create 17,000 jobs here in Gauteng. We will commission the creation of a limestone mine in Ekurhuleni. Comrades, in Modderfontein will commission the creation of brick manufacturing company that will create 3,500 jobs. Comrades, the EFF in Gauteng and all over South Africa will not be a government of retrenchments. When we take over government, we are going to protect jobs, because we believe that the jobs are the most effective way of sharing the wealth of the country. Comrades, we are going to create an industrial park in the West End that will process all fruits and vegetables, and through this we will create 50,000 jobs. Comrades of Johannesburg, the EFF will establish a TV and cell phone assembly factory here in Johannesburg, and through this we will create 20,000 jobs. Because if we can't create our own things, we will never have the capacity to produce jobs. Comrades, today South Africa does not produce a toothpick. Today South Africa does not produce a plate. Today South Africa does not produce a spoon. Yet these things, we use them every day. How can you not produce the things that people are using daily? Through the creation of these factories that are going to produce the things that our people are using daily, will be able to create jobs. Comrades, we will never allow you to live in darkness because of load shedding. Here in Soweto, our people do not only know load shedding, because for them electricity has become a luxury. The streets of Soweto have become dangerous because there is no electricity in Soweto. As the EFF will establish 2 coal-powered power stations that will operate along the routes that connect Gauteng and Mpumalanga. This power station will give electricity to manufacturing and industrial companies of the province and our people. We want to say to the people of Soweto that the EFF is going to write off all the debt that is owed to Eskom for all townships and poor households. It is inhuman for people of Soweto to be denied electricity because of the so-called debt, as if you are rich and can pay that debt. Otherwise, you must live in darkness. We will never allow that. The poor in Soweto will get free electricity. The poor who are owing Eskom in Soweto, that debt is going to be scrapped because you can't afford to pay for that debt. The EFF will do so because it loves all poor people of South Africa. Comrades, we will reopen police and satellite police stations in Marabastad, Zandspruit, Koksod, Azatville, Murulasan, Melville, Zitobeni, Tambelihle, Tsepisong, Slovo Park, Matole by 2027. Comrades, Orange Farm is one of the areas where we are going to centralize the fight of crime, because we can't allow that people must be killed in Orange Farm without the necessary intervention of the EFF. Comrades, there is no police station that will be in a private property. All police stations must be in buildings that are owned by the state. Comrades, we are going to establish a special operation to pass the sales of Nyaupe in all townships with the aim of eradicating its sale in the first 12 months in office. Comrades, the EFF in Gauteng will deploy a special task team inclusive of social workers, psychologists, and religious leaders to deal with gangsterism and drugs in places such as El Dorado, Westbury, Johannesburg Central, Hillbrow, Berea, Sunnyside, and Newville. We must go and reclaim the streets of those places because they've been taken over by the drug lords. There will no longer be drugs in Hillbrow. There will no longer be drugs in Sunnyside, and anyone who sells drugs in those places will be the enemy of our people. Comrades, we are going to pay police very well, because police must be paid for fighting dangerous crime. We don't want police who shoot at black people when they are toiling for water. We want police who shoot at criminals who are pointing guns at the police. Any criminal who points a gun at the police officer must see his maker immediately, because we have no room for criminals who undermine law enforcement. Comrades, Alexander and Everton skyscraper city project is going to be piloted in those areas when we take over government. We are going to make sure that all the hostels, George Koch, Chippies Town, and everywhere else where there is a hostel, we are not going to just renovate the hostels. We are going to convert them into family units, and we're also going to allow the women to have access into ownership of those family units in the hostels. Comrades, Gauteng will no longer be a province. There will no longer be a province called Limpopo. There won't be a province called Mpumalanga. We don't want provinces in the EFF. Provinces are a waste of money. Today, no one can tell me as to what is the role of the Premier, what is the role of the MEC. Mayors are more important and play important role better than the Premiers and MECs. Councillors play more important role better than the MECs. We don't want provincial legislatures. Moshe, you must start looking for a job because there won't be a legislature. Legislature to legislate which law? Because all of us must have one law, and that law must be made by the Parliament of South Africa. There can't be a law of Gauteng. There can't be a law of Western Cape. There must be one law under one president, under one cabinet, and the rest of them, there must be municipalities under mayors and under councillors, and deliver services directly to our people without any money for nothing. Comrades, we want free education, and that education must be decolonized. We don't want to learn about Jan van Riebeck. We want to learn about Subukwe. We want to learn about Nyerere. We want to learn about Steve Biko. We want education that will be biased to Pan-Africanism. We want education that will make us proud to be black people, not education that will make us to be inferior. Let me tell you, under the EFF, Dr. Ndozi, there will not be maths literacy. Maths literacy is misleading. It's not maths. They are giving us maths literacy because they are following what Verwoerd said. Verwoerd said, what will an African child do with maths? Comrades, you don't have to pass maths, but do maths. In Gauteng, we are going to make sure that all schools, mathematics is compulsory. We don't care whether you do geography, whether you do history, whether you do biblical studies, you are going to learn mathematics because we believe that that which Jan van Riebeck denied us must be given to our people. Jan van Riebeck said, and Verwoerd said, and Malani said, black people cannot learn mathematics. We are going to teach mathematics to a black child. Comrades, the Student Command, we salute you for fighting battles in all institutions of higher learning. We are proud of the Student Command because you are in charge of more than 80% of the campuses all over South Africa. Every campus is under the EFF. The youth of South Africa, the young intelligentsia has chosen the EFF as the future. And you must ask the question, why? Young people only choose things that make sense. Only the EFF makes sense today to young people. That's why Student Command, don't disappoint us. Don't drink alcohol. Don't be drunk in power. Service the youth of our universities. Every president of the Student Command SRC must pass this year, because if you don't pass, you don't qualify anymore to be in the SRC of the EFF. You must lead by example. Comrades, Johannesburg, Commissar Mgini, we are going to expropriate hijacked buildings, renovate them, and create student accommodation for all our students everywhere else in South Africa. And that student accommodation must have hot water, must have Wi-Fi, must have the necessary learning material, because students don't only learn in class, they learn 24 hours. They do research 24 hours. Comrades, we want to send our condolences to the family of a student who was killed in Braamfontein. We are saying to them, under the EFF government, no child shall be shot by mistake because criminals have taken over the streets of Braamfontein. In honor, we'll make sure that we protect the students and the staff that continue to provide teaching to our children. Comrades, no graduate must be unemployed. When you graduate, you must go to work immediately. When you graduate, there must be a job for you. Education, Commissar Mbuyiseni, must have practicals. It must have theory, it must have practicals. When you go to practicals in whatever field of your study, you must automatically be linked with that firm, because that's where you belong. However, if we can't give them jobs, we must give them graduate stipend, because you must not go to school and come back to become an ordinary fellow like the rest who didn't go to school. We want to make sure that you are paid according to your qualifications. Comrades, today they say all young people who are unemployed and don't have a source of income, they are given 350. Why should I be given 350, the same amount, with a person who don't have a degree, who doesn't have a diploma, who doesn't have a matric? Those who don't have matric must get 350. Those who have a matric must get 1,000. Those who have a degree must get 3.5. Those who have honors must have 4.5. Those with masters must have 5.5, because we have gone to school, and going to school must pay, and must pay in a literal meaning. Comrades, all those children who are going to school, they must get uniform free of charge. Why do you say there is no, you say to parents, you are poor, your children won't pay school fees because they are poor. But when it comes to buying uniform, they are not poor, they must buy uniform. It can't be they are poor throughout. We don't want children who receive free education to buy school uniform and school shoes. Comrades, we are going to double the social grants of our gogos. No gogo must go home without 4,500 because those people look after our families. We are going to double the money of child grant because those children must also be supported so that they don't become criminals. Comrades, we are going to pay teachers. We used to respect teachers because they were well paid and they were looking after themselves. I'm very passionate about this issue of paying teachers well and paying police well. Because last week, when I went to Seychelles, I met my teacher who bought Corolla when I was still at school. And he's still driving the same Corolla today. When I asked him why, he said he doesn't qualify for a new car. How can you be a teacher and don't qualify for a car? How can you be a teacher and not qualify for a house? How can you be a teacher and not have a medical aid? We are going to restore the dignity of the profession of teaching, of police, of nurses, of doctors, of all civil servants. Comrades, we must make sure that whatever we are doing here in Gauteng, we must defend the gains of 1994 and deliver victory. There is a family called the Oppenheimer family. That Oppenheimer family is paying millions to buy South Africa. How can you give Rice Mzansi so many millions even when they don't have a track record of being a legitimate political party? The Oppenheimer, they are wasting their time. They are putting millions under Herman Mashaba. Herman Mashaba is a fool who can't think. He was a mayor here in Johannesburg and we were controlling him when he was a mayor. We told him what to do when he was a mayor. So the Oppenheimers are investing millions in a useless person. The reason why they want to divide a black vote. Herman Mashaba can't speak for a reason. If Herman Mashaba comes to parliament, if he's lucky, Honorable Ndlozi, Mashaba, if he comes to parliament, the man can't speak. And when you have one seat in parliament, you are given 3 minutes. Mashaba is going to stand there and say, Honorable Speaker, the time is over. Time is over. Sit down. You are putting money in a man who will never say anything in parliament. Let's unite black people to fight against the Oppenheimer money. Let us not be bought by the Oppenheimers. Let us not be misled by the Oppenheimers for too long. The Oppenheimers have controlled our country. We must go and claim our country back from the Oppenheimers. 29 May, we are going to take our country from the Oppenheimers. We are going to take our country from the Ruperts. The Muslim community. Why would a Muslim vote for Rice Mzansi? Why would a Muslim vote for Action SA? Why would a Muslim vote for one South Africa? Why would a Muslim vote for TA? Because all those people are supported by the Israeli money that is killing our people in Palestine. There is no organization in South Africa that can stop the genocide in Palestine except the EFF. The EFF said to Parliament, remove the embassy of Palestine. Till today, the government of the ANC did not remove Palestine. Why? ANC is pretending to be fighting against apartheid Israel. There is only one organization in South Africa that all Muslims and all peace-loving South Africans must vote for, and that organization is the EFF. Fighters, let's go to the ground. Let's not be scared of the enemy. The enemy is shaking. The attack on the EFF in Ekurhuleni is evidence that the enemy is shaking. They are shaken by the EFF here in Gauteng. Comrade Ndozi, Comrade Lien, thank you very much for giving our people the hope they've been longing for. From today, the people of Soweto, they will know that their lives are going to change for better. Comrades, leaders of the EFF in Citibank, leaders of the EFF in Western, leaders of the EFF in Ekurhuleni, Tshwane and Johannesburg, only the unity of purpose will deliver victory of the EFF. There is no time for petty squabble. There is no time for gossip. There is no time for dividing each other. There is time for door to door, to emtwini. When we live here, we are going to do door to door and sell the message of economic freedom in our lifetime. Tell them freedom is coming on the 29th of May. Tell them we are going to Union Building on the 29th of May. Oppenheimer will never buy the votes of our people. Amanda!